I'm Sarah Mitchell, 28 years old, and for 2 years now I've been in therapy trying to untangle the mess that is my relationship with my mother. You know that feeling when you're walking through your own home, but every step feels like you're navigating a minefield? That was my entire childhood. My older brother Jake could slam doors, skip family dinners, even total Dad's car at 17, and somehow he was just being a boy or finding himself. But me? I once forgot to call my mom during my lunch break at work and got 47 text messages about how I was selfish and didn't care if she lived or died. The breaking point came 3 weeks ago when I finally set a boundary that apparently makes me the ungrateful daughter who's tearing our family apart. If you've ever been called the family villain for protecting your own mental health, hit subscribe and let me know where you're watching from in the comments. Growing up in our suburban Phoenix home, everything looked perfect from the outside. My dad's a successful dentist with 3 practices across Scottsdale. My mom never worked but made being a devoted mother her full-time identity. Jake was the golden boy who could do no wrong. When he dropped out of Arizona State after burning through $30,000 in tuition, Mom said he was too creative for traditional education. When I graduated summa cum laude from the same school while working 2 jobs, she asked why I couldn't have gotten into an Ivy League. Jake got a brand new BMW for his 16th birthday. I got a used Honda Civic for my 18th, but only after I'd saved up half the money myself. At Jake's high school graduation party, Mom invited 200 people and spent $15,000. At mine, we had cake from Costco with immediate family, only because she was exhausted from Jake's party planning the year before. Every family photo on her Facebook features Jake prominently while I'm usually half cut out or in the background. I learned early that I was only visible when she needed something from me. The moment everything changed started during a regular Tuesday therapy session. My therapist, Dr. Chen, had been working with me on boundaries for months. We'd practiced scripts, role-played scenarios, worked through my guilt. She kept telling me that setting boundaries wasn't cruel. It was necessary. That morning, I'd finally said the words out loud in her office that I'd been terrified to even think. I would no longer accept being screamed at. If my mother raised her voice at me, I would end the conversation. Period. 3 days later, like clockwork, my phone rang at 7:30 in the evening. I was making dinner, feeling good about a promotion I'd just gotten at work. Mom asked about my job, and when I mentioned the promotion, she launched into how I was showing off and making Jake feel bad about his unemployment. The volume escalated instantly. My hands shook as I gripped the phone, but I heard Dr. Chen's voice in my head. "Mom, I'm not going to listen to this. I love you, but I'm hanging up now." And I did. The silence in my apartment afterward was deafening. Within 10 minutes, my phone exploded. 17 missed calls, 42 text messages, my dad calling me disrespectful and ungrateful, my mom sending paragraph after paragraph about how I was breaking her heart, how she'd sacrificed everything for me, how I was too sensitive and couldn't take constructive criticism. The word that cut deepest was when she called my therapy brainwashing and said I was destroying our family because I'd fallen for some therapist's lies about boundaries. Jake texted asking why I had to be so dramatic and couldn't I just apologize to keep the peace like always. My aunt called saying Mom was having chest pains from the stress I'd caused. My cousin messaged that I should be ashamed of myself. Everyone had an opinion about my single act of self-preservation. The irony is that if Jake had hung up on her, they'd say he was stressed from job hunting and needed space. What they don't understand is what those 28 years of screaming did to me. The way my body goes into fight or flight mode when any phone rings. How I apologize constantly at work even when I've done nothing wrong. The panic attacks I have before every family gathering. The way I can't accept compliments because I'm waiting for the criticism that always followed them at home. My mom would tell me I looked pretty, then immediately add that I'd look better if I lost 10 pounds. She'd praise my grades, then ask why I wasn't also doing more extracurriculars like Jake. Every achievement came with a qualifier, every success with a comparison. I've spent thousands of dollars and hundreds of therapy hours trying to rebuild the self-worth she systematically destroyed. Dr. Chen calls this an extinction burst, the phenomenon where toxic behavior escalates when boundaries are first enforced. It's like a toddler's tantrum getting worse before they learn the tantrum won't work anymore. The logical part of me understands this completely. I can recite the psychology behind it. But the little girl in me, the one who just wanted her mother's unconditional love, is drowning in guilt. Every accusation feels like a knife because part of me still believes them. Maybe I am too sensitive. Maybe I should just accept this as how she shows love. Maybe I'm destroying my family over something trivial. The guilt is suffocating, especially at 3 a.m. when I'm lying awake wondering if I'll regret this when she's gone. My mom's latest message said that I clearly don't understand what real families do for each other, that I'm selfish and cold, that she's embarrassed to tell her friends about her ungrateful daughter. She's rewriting history, claiming she never yelled, that I'm making things up, that I'm mentally unstable, and need help but not the kind my therapist provides. She's told extended family I'm having a breakdown, possibly on drugs, definitely being manipulated by toxic friends. The narrative she's creating is that she's a loving mother trying to help her troubled daughter who's pushing everyone away. No mention of the screaming, the comparisons, the decades of emotional abuse. In her version, she's the victim, and I'm the villain destroying our perfect family. Last night, I wrote her a letter I'll never send. In it, I told her about all the times I needed a mother's comfort and got criticism instead. About crying in my car after every visit home. About the therapy sessions where I've sobbed trying to understand why Jake's feelings always mattered more than mine. About how I still flinch when people raise their voices. About the eating disorder I developed trying to meet her impossible standards. About the relationships I've sabotaged because I don't believe anyone could actually love me without conditions. I wrote it all down, then burned it in my sink, watching years of pain turn to ash. The truth is, I know I'm doing the right thing. My anxiety has decreased since I set this boundary. I'm sleeping better when I'm not checking my phone. My therapist is proud of me. My best friend says I seem lighter. But knowing something intellectually and feeling it emotionally are vastly different experiences. I still reach for my phone to call her when something good happens, then remember I can't. I see mothers and daughters shopping together and my chest aches. I wonder if she thinks about me as much as I think about her, if she misses me at all, or if she's just angry that she lost control. Part of me wants to cave, to apologize, to go back to the familiar dysfunction rather than sit in this uncomfortable growth. To anyone watching who's been called ungrateful for setting boundaries, who's been labeled the family problem for refusing to accept abuse, who's drowning in guilt for protecting their peace, I see you. Your feelings are valid. The guilt is real, but it's not justified. You're not responsible for managing other people's emotions at the expense of your own mental health. It's not your job to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Boundaries aren't cruel, they're necessary. You deserve relationships where respect is mutual, where love doesn't come with conditions, where you can exist without constantly apologizing for taking up space. Thank you for watching, and remember, choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's survival.